Alrighty, folks, we are back with The Revenge of Alice Cooper. Yes, the return of the Alice Cooper Band. Their first album since Muscle of Love in 1973. Was it 52 years ago? This is the fifth album of the Alice Cooper Band, produced by Bob Ezrin, who's also produced 11 solo Alice Cooper albums. So Ezrin's been on more than half of Alice Cooper's output. You have Michael Bruce on rhythm guitar, Dennis Dunaway on bass, Neal Smith on drums, and then, if you can see there, it says, and a special appearance by Glen Buxton. Those are all the original members of Alice Cooper, as the band was originally known. Buxton passed away in '97 from viral pneumonia. He was like 49 years old. So you can see they got this laid out like a old type movie poster. It says the return album the world was afraid of. And it says underneath there, directed by Bob Ezrin. There's the inside there. The back. Get the snake into there. And the booklet feels like an old comic book. Alice. I was hoping to zip through this review rather quickly. Michael Bruce there. But I have a feeling it's not going to happen. Just too much info to go through. Too much time has passed in between albums. Now these guys did all play on, well, Alice Cooper's last solo album was Road, but the previous three solo albums, Welcome to My Nightmare 2, Paranormal, and what was the other one? Detroit Stories. All the surviving members did play on those albums. Not solely, but they were on those albums with Alice Cooper. But there wasn't much in the way of writing credits from those guys on those albums. But this one is everybody, all hands on deck, team effort in this one. Did I show you the rest of this, or was I just talking? I don't think I showed you the rest of it. If I didn't, I'm already losing track of where I'm at. I'm sorry. Dennis Dunaway, Neal Smith. There's who plays what on here. Gyasi Heus is also on guitar on here. Rick Tedesco is on guitar on here. I'm not really sure who those guys are, honestly. And then you get Robby Krieger doing lead guitar on Black Mamba. That's all that's listed on the Wikipedia page, but as you can see, there's lots of different people playing, lots of different instruments making appearances here. When it's under guitars, like it says here, Michael Bruce plays rhythm guitar. That's what he always played. Sometimes lead, but he was mainly the rhythm guy, and Buxton was the lead guy. When it says, it doesn't say on here who's doing the soloing, because it'll just say guitars, Michael Bruce, Gyasi Heus, Rick Tedesco, or a combination therein. So you don't really know who's playing what, honestly. Anyway, your first single here was Black Mamba. Starts off classic Alice Cooper sound. Sounds like a track that could have easily come off of Killers. Great groove, nasty bass. You get some cool soloing from Robby Krieger here. Um, I know some people don't like the yahs in the song. Um, when I first heard the song, it did catch me a little off guard, but it didn't bother me that much. Then the second time I heard it, I was like, nah, this is kind of weird. But I've grown used to it, and honestly, the more I listen to it, and I've listened to this album close to a half a dozen times, the more I listen to it, I can swear that there's another song. I don't think it's Alice Cooper, but another song by somebody who does like yahs in it, but I can't figure out. It's driving me crazy. I can't figure out where I know it from or what it sounds like. Wild Ones is your next track. This was also the second single. Got a very Catch Your Train-ish type intro by Scorpions. Great guitar, driving bass. The whole song gives you kind of a under my wheels feel. Then your next track is called Up All Night. Third single. Now, were these just released as singles because they were the first three tracks on the album? Kind of what it sounds like. It's got a good crunchy intro, great lyrics, party chorus, kind of 80s feel in the party chorus. Kill the Flies is your next track, sequel to Halo of Flies. Although it does have a very Dwight Fry, Ballad of Dwight Fry type vibe to it. You get a little doo-wop chorus in there. And the guitar parts actually remind me of the guitar soloing, minimal guitar soloing in the song. Kind of remind me of Vincent Price, actually, from Deep Purple, the song by Deep Purple, Vincent Price. One Night Stand is your next track. Heavy bass driven song, heavy bass riff on it. It's the story of a couple of psycho femme fatales that take Alice back to their rooms, and Alice, of course, turns the tides on them. Could be a sequel to Be My Lover. Really tasty guitar work in this one too. Blood on the Sun is your next track. This is the longest track on the album, 6 minutes long. It's got this acoustic vocal intro. Then it goes into the chorus, which really reminds me a lot of One More Time by Lynyrd Skynyrd. The song, to me, sounds like it's about the Flying Tigers, which was a volunteer U.S. Air Force type division that fought alongside the Chinese, trying to repel the Japanese invasion of China in early 1941. This would be pre-Pearl Harbor. Song builds and builds, and then it fades out, and you almost think the song's over at like the 3-minute mark, but then it comes back with that acoustic guitar again. It builds and builds into this fire guitar solo to close the track out. Your next track is called Crap That Gets in the Way of Your Dreams, about the life and times of a failed musician. Good groovy guitar solo in this one. Then that follows up with Famous Face, which could be part 2 of that song. It's got a crunchy riff to it, nice piano and synths in this song. Even sounds like there's some maracas in there. And this song sounds like it's about some 80s LA band, Flash in the Pan. Money Screams, your next track. Got a very Caught in a Dream type bounce to the track. What a Sid follows that one. Starts off very Blue Turkish, the song from School's Out, mixed with, and then throw in some Stray Cat Strut and Minnie the Moocher, and you have What a Sid. I don't know what the song actually means, but from the lyrics, but that's what you get. Intergalactic Vagabond Blues is your next track. It's got a 60s doo-wop feel to it. Alice Cooper shows up on harmonica, some smoking guitar solo in this one. What Happened to You is the next track. This is the one that features some guitar parts from Glen Buxton. You get this really nasty guitar intro, which I'm sure that this is the Glen Buxton part, and then that part whether it's the same part repeated or it sounds like it's some different parts, but they show up in different parts of the song. Um, the verse is really similar to Johnny B. Good to my ear. It's got some cool Jerry Lee Lewis type piano in here. And before you say, wait a minute, he keeps mentioning doo-wop and Jerry Lee Lewis and 60s vibe, Johnny B. Good. Alice Cooper's always incorporated all that era of music into his songs, so it's nothing different. It's still the same 60s doo-wop mixed with the heavy glam hard rock that Alice Cooper's always done. I Ain't Done Wrong is your next track. Jailhouse rock type beat. You get some bluesy vocals on this one. It sounds like slide guitar on it, but there's not slide guitar listed, so I think they're just kind of mimicking a slide guitar. More harmonica on this one. Good drum fills throughout this whole song. The pace really quickens towards the end of the song. You get dueling guitar solos. Really good bluesy tune. Actually, even at the end of the track, as it's fading out, you can hear somebody say, nailed it. And they did nail it. Probably my favorite track on the album. I Ain't Done Wrong. Then See You on the Other Side. Now, this is listed as the album closer. And from what I've read online, this thing wasn't supposed to have bonus tracks on it. There are bonus tracks on it. I thought the bonus tracks just came in the deluxe set with the CD and the LP, and then there was a 7-inch that had the 2 bonus tracks on each side of that. But this does have the bonus tracks on it. But like I said, listed on it, those tracks aren't listed on this album anywhere. They're not listed on the lyric sheet. They're not listed on the back of the album. So this is technically your album closer, See You on the Other Side. Kind of a more hopeful antithesis to I Love the Dead. It does have a more melancholy delivery than I Love the Dead, if that's possible. But the lyrics are more uplifting, and there's some choral choruses in the background that you can hear. Good closing tune when you factor in the Glen Buxton factor. Now, that puts us at 54 minutes. Pretty long album, 14 tracks. Although, like I said, Blood on the Sun is your long one at 6 minutes. Black Mamba almost hits 5 minutes. Then all the rest of them, a couple of them are even less than 3 minutes. Then most of them are, in that range up to just over 4 minutes. So none of the songs hang out too long. We're out there welcome. There's just a lot of songs. 14 songs, and then we're going into 2 bonus tracks, which I don't have a problem with, because your first bonus track is called Return of the Spiders 2025. It's got a Schools Out type guitar intro. Harmonica comes in. Alice is singing, like, it sounds like he's singing through one of those old style microphones. It's got a real Baby Please Don't Go vibe to it. You get dueling harmonica, guitar solo in it. Good swinging drums throughout the whole track. And everything builds into this raucous ending. Maybe my second favorite track on the album. And then Titanic, Overunderture. Little play on words there. Kind of reminiscent of the track Alma Mater. It is about the sinking of the Titanic, but it's a quick 1.5 minute track, and then it's done. So I'm going to give this I almost said The Return of Alice Cooper. I don't think that's not right. The Revenge of Alice Cooper. 8.25 out of 10. It may run a little long, but like I said, you're never sitting there going, man, when is this album going to end? It stays pretty upbeat, pretty moving along just maybe a couple of songs that aren't as strong as others that probably could have been pulled out. Would have made the album a little bit stronger. But like I said, overall, I wouldn't put any song on here below an 8. So the fact that it's 8.25 tells you that everything's really solid. So yeah, it's a good album. If you like classic Alice Cooper band, you're gonna love this album. It sounds just like it could have easily followed Muscle of Love. The Revenge of Alice Cooper, 8.25 out of 10. You guys have a good one.